We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. In India, Stampede at Andhra Pradesh's Tirupati Temple leaves 6 people dead and 40 injured. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses grief. Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu to visit Tirupati today. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate 18th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention in Bhubaneswar. Firefighters overwhelmed by the speed and ferocity of multiple blazes in and around Los Angeles as the toll rises to 5. Hundreds of thousands, including A-list celebrities, evacuate. Blinken dismisses Trump's statements on Greenland, urges European leaders not to waste time contemplating on something that's not going to happen. France and Brazil voice concern over Meta's decision to halt US fact-checking operations. Meta Oversight co-chair says hate speech can lead to real-life harm. And Chad presidency calm after military foiled destabilization attempt. 18 attackers and 1 security personnel member dead and several others injured as gunmen attack presidential complex. In India, 6 persons were killed and more than 40 critically injured in a stampede at Tirupati Temple late on Wednesday evening as people jostled for tickets for the 10-day Vaikuntha Ekadashi festival scheduled to begin on Friday. The board had set up around 90 counters at various locations in Tirupati and announced that tickets would be made available from 5 a.m. on Thursday. The announcement drew tens of thousands of people eager to ensure their place for darshan. Visuals from the spot showed a sea of devotees lining up at the counters from Wednesday morning itself, and by evening the crowd had become unruly with pushing and jostling. According to the chairman of the board, the stampede occurred when a gate was opened to assist a woman feeling unwell, but the crowd surged forward all at once, leading to chaos.
It is a very unfortunate incident, never happened in TTD history. I sincerely request to the devotees to apologize TTD, and we will have an inquiry in this. Definitely will take serious action against them.
Well, the State Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu condoled with the incident, saying it deeply disturbed him. He has directed high officials to go to the spot and take relief measures. The Chief Minister will visit Tirupati today. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed grief over the incident, saying, pained by the stampede in Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh, my thoughts are with those who have lost their near and dear ones. I pray that the injured recover soon. The AP government is providing all possible assistance to those affected, unquote. And Jagdish Nair from Tirupati joins us now on the phone line. Well, Jagdish, an extremely sad incident there. Brace us with the current situation.
Lepakshi, this can be said as a tough incident ever in Tirupati history. A Balaji devotee, each and every devotee will be waiting for the Ekadashi darshan from a whole year. This can be said that Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, most people they wear Govindamala, and they used to visit Tirupati on the Ekadashi day. They used to stay for long fasting also. To get the ticket, PTD used to maintain the counters, more than 10 counters, and as usually this year also PTD has arranged 9 counters, 8 in Tirupati, 1 in Tirumala. So coming to the ticket issuing counter, each and every counter was very clearly maintained, and pilgrims also, the count was taken with that the count was more than expectation. And yesterday, where the incident took place in Srinivasan Complex 1 and Bairagi Pattada, where the local colony is represented. In Bairagi Pattada, there was a very big park, and unfortunately, when the gate was opened, and more than 5,000 people rushed to get the tickets. At the same time, the stampede was occurred, and we can see, unfortunately, 4 people were died in Bairagi Pattada, and 2 people died in Vishnu Nivasan. On this issue, the Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister also mentioned his deepest condolence, and today 12 p.m. is scheduled to reach Tirupati, and he is monitoring the issue. And coming to Prime Minister, Prime Minister is also in touch with the Chief Minister and asking to order the Andhra Pradesh government to give the better treatment for those who are injured. More than 30 people are injured, and they are given under treatment in the Tirupati Sim's Hospital and the Rio Hospital also. And coming to the issue, BJP party, as we have seen, Bhanu Prakash Reddy is also demanding an inquiry on this issue. And coming to the opposition party, Jagan Mohan Reddy is also demanding resignation from the government, and this went on a political point of view also. That this can be the momentous.
All right. Jagdish, what is the latest you're getting on the death toll, if you can tell us, and how are the relief measures going on?
As of now, officially, we can tell that 6 people have been identified, and 1 from Salem, Tamil Nadu, and 3 from Vizag, and 1 from Guntur district. And 1 person is till now not identified, and more than 30 people are injured in this incident, and the government is very serious on this, and simply we can say that never in TTD history happened such an incident. This can be said as an unfortunate incident, and TTD is also very much worried about this, and the treatment for the injured people is given in Queens and Rio Hospital also.
All right, Jagdish, thank you so much for all those details from there. And moving on, the 18th Pravasi Bharati Divas Convention 2025, which kicked off in Odisha's Bhubaneswar on Wednesday, will be formally inaugurated by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on January 9th. It will also feature a virtual address by the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister will remotely flag off the inaugural journey of the Pravasi Bharati Express, a special tourist train for the Indian diaspora, which will depart from the Nizamuddin railway station in Delhi and will travel to multiple destinations of touristic and religious importance in India for a period of 3 weeks. The Pravasi Bharati Express will be conducted under the Pravasi Darshan Yojana of the Ministry of External Affairs. Prime Minister will also inaugurate 4 exhibitions at the 18th Pravasi Bharati Divas Convention, featuring the universal legacy of Ramayana, Diaspora's contribution to technology and Viksit Bharat, spread and evolution of Indian diaspora, heritage and culture of Odisha. Well, the Pravasi Bharati Divas Convention is the flagship event of the Government of India that provides an important platform to connect and engage with the Indian diaspora and enable them to interact with each other. Well, the winter chill intensified in most parts of North India as night temperatures in the Kashmir Valley dipped in most parts to settle below 0 degrees. Tourists in the high reaches of Jammu and Kashmir were in for a treat as heavy snowfall in the last 24 hours transformed the valley into a picturesque winter wonderland. And much to the frolicking travelers and tourism sector's shared benefit, this snowy trend is set to continue this week. While also Delhi is braced for colder days as the minimum temperature is expected to dip sharply by Friday, the city is also likely to see light rain over the weekend as a fresh western disturbance starts to impact the region from Saturday onwards. Temperature forecast for January, meanwhile, shows that the monthly minimum temperature is expected to be above normal in many parts of the country, except some parts in east, northwest and west central India. And moving on, the Indian Space Research Organization has postponed the docking experiment of its 2 satellites rotating in low Earth orbit under the SpaceX mission. The space agency, in a social media post, said that the decision to postpone docking was taken due to the detection of excess drift between the 2 satellites. However, both the satellites STX-01 Chaser and STX-02, also known as Target, are safe and functioning normally. The drift was observed when ISRO undertook a maneuver to reduce the distance between the satellites to 225 meters. The drift exceeding expectations was during the non-visibility period. ISRO had earlier scheduled docking of satellites on the January 7th and thereafter today. Due to the unexpected drift in the satellites, ISRO has revised the timeline, which will be announced soon. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. Jammu-Srinagar Vande Bharat Express will soon run between Katra and Srinagar as final inspection begins on the 111-kilometer-long Katra-Banihal section connecting Jammu to Kashmir Valley. Consisting of 8 coaches, the Jammu-Srinagar Vande Bharat is specially designed that is equipped with anti-freezing features to provide comfortable travel to the passengers and better view to the drivers even in adverse weather conditions. Dal Lake, one of Kashmir's most renowned attractions, is home to the iconic houseboats that have become synonymous with the region's charm and hospitality. More than just unique accommodation, these floating marvels offer visitors a deep connection to the rich culture and heritage of Kashmir. As tourism continues to grow in the region, houseboat owners are dedicated to ensuring that their vessels are prepared to offer guests a truly immersive experience. Preparations are underway for the 3-day International Camel Festival scheduled to kick off on January 10th, celebrated with great fervour in the culturally rich district of Bikaner, Rajasthan. The festival showcases enthralling heritage walk that displays folk culture, captivating both domestic and foreign tourists. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. NASA astronauts stuck on International Space Station say they don't feel like castaways. Migrants in Mexico rush to reach a US border. And in sports, more matches lined up for Indian contingent today at the Malaysia Open Badminton Tournament.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
स्वागत आहे to Magnetic Maharashtra.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Nipakshi Khurana, and moving on. Raging wildfires surrounded Los Angeles, killing at least 5 people, destroying hundreds of homes and stretching firefighting resources and water supplies to the limit as thousands of people, including A-list celebrities evacuate. Fierce winds hindered firefighting operations and fueled the fires, which have burned unimpeded since they began on Tuesday. 5 separate fires burned in Los Angeles County, all of them 0% contained, according to state officials, including a pair of conflagrations that held the city in a pincer move. On the west side, the Palisades fire consumed 15,832 acres and 1,000 structures in the hills between Santa Monica and Malibu. It was already one of the most destructive fires in Los Angeles history. To the east, in the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains, the Eaton fire claimed another 10,600 acres and killed at least 5 people, estimated initial damage and economic loss at more than $50 billion. While the skies above Los Angeles glowed red in some areas and were blanketed by thick smoke, nearly 1 million homes and businesses lost power in Los Angeles County. While the firefighters battling multiple wildfires that raged across Los Angeles were up against a near-perfect storm, intense wind, low humidity and, most troubling for residents, inadequate supplies of water to contain the blazes. Los Angeles authorities said their municipal water systems were working effectively, but they were designed for an urban environment, not for tackling wildfires. The lack of water hampered efforts, particularly in Pacific Palisades, an upscale coastal enclave where a wildfire has consumed nearly 12,000 acres. And moving on now, outgoing U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday rejected President-elect Donald Trump's idea about taking over Greenland. Addressing joint press conference with his French counterpart Jean-Noël Barrot in Paris, Blinken said that U.S. takeover of Greenland will never occur.
We're stronger, we're more effective, we get better results when we're working closely with our allies, not saying or doing things that may alienate them. Having said that, it's the idea expressed about Greenland is obviously not a good one, but maybe more important, it's obviously one that's not going to happen. So we probably shouldn't waste a lot of time talking about it.
Well, Blinken also spoke about the ceasefire in Gaza and a hostage deal, saying they are very close. Talking to media in Paris, Blinken expressed hope that the deal would be signed before 20th of January.
We're very close to a ceasefire and hostage agreement. We've talked about this too in recent days. I hope that we can get it over the line in the time that we have left. But if we don't, then the plan that President Biden put forward for a ceasefire hostage deal will be handed over to the incoming administration. And I believe that when we get that deal, and we'll get it, it'll be on the basis of the plan that President Biden put before the world back in May.
And the Israeli military said on Wednesday that the troops recovered the body of a hostage in Gaza and brought it back to Israel following a complex and difficult operation. The body of Yusuf Ziadneh, an Israeli Bidonin, taken hostage by Hamas-led fighters on October 7, 2023, has been found in a tunnel in Gaza, along with evidence suggesting his son Hamza Ziadneh may also have been killed. However, his body was not found yet. It was not immediately clear how Ziadneh had been killed, but IDF said his death did not appear to have been recent. The body Ziadneh was found as international mediators Qatar, Egypt and the United States kept up a push for a ceasefire and hostage release deal. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a social media post, expressed grief and vowed to bring back remaining hostages soon. Well, Chad foiled an attack on Wednesday after unknown assailants opened gunfire near the presidential palace in the capital, N'Djamena. Gunmen launched an attack on the presidential complex on Wednesday, sparking a battle that left 18 attackers and 1 security personnel dead and several others injured. Chad's government spokesperson later said the situation at the presidency was completely under control. The incident comes 2 weeks after Chad held parliamentary elections, which were boycotted by the main opposition.
Je suis actuellement à la présidence de la République.
I'm currently at the presidential palace, where the situation is completely under control. There is no cause for concern, nothing serious. I'm currently at the presidential palace. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing happening. Everything is calm, and I want you to feel reassured. We are here, and we will defend our country at the cost of our blood. The entire attempt, this attempt to destabilize, has been eradicated.
And moving on, 2 U.S. astronauts who have been stuck for months on an international space station said that they have plenty of food and are not facing a laundry crisis and don't yet feel like castaways. Veteran astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams arrived at the ISS in June aboard Boeing Starliner spacecraft and were due to spend only 8 days on the orbiting laboratory. But problems with the Starliner's propulsion system prompted NASA to change plans, with a return flight now scheduled for late March at the earliest. After the propulsion problems developed, NASA ultimately decided to return the spacecraft to Earth without its crew and to bring the 2 stranded astronauts back home with the members of the SpaceX Crew 9 mission. The French Foreign Ministry voiced concern over Meta's decision to halt U.S. fact-checking operations for its Facebook and Instagram platforms, saying it would be vigilant over the group's respect of European laws. Meta's recent decision has drawn criticism worldwide, with Brazil's communication minister Sidonio Palmeira labeling it a move bad for democracy. Meanwhile, the co-chair of the independent body that reviews Facebook and Instagram content has said that she is concerned about how parent company Meta's decision to ditch fact-checkers will affect minority groups. Meta on Tuesday abruptly slashed its content moderation in the United States, including ending its fact-checking program on Facebook and Instagram in a move that confirms with the priorities of incoming President Donald Trump. Well, hundreds of migrants are rushing to reach the U.S.-Mexico border, hoping to secure entry under the current regulations before any potential policy changes with Donald Trump's upcoming inauguration on the 20th of January. Nearly 250 migrants left Tapachula, Chiapas on buses heading north on Wednesday as part of a Mexican government program that transports people authorized by the U.S. Custom and Border Protection app to border crossings in northern Mexico. And on to some sports news now. India's men's double pair of Satwik and Chirag will take on Malaysia's Tanvi Keong and NM Azharuddin Ayub in the second round of the Malaysia Open Badminton Tournament on Thursday. Earlier, the Indian duo defeated Ming Che Lu and Tang Kei Wei of Chinese Taipei in 3 games, winning 21-10, 16-21, 21-5 in just under an hour. Meanwhile, India's HS Pranoy will take on China's Li Shifeng in the second round today morning. Pranoy earlier overcame Canada's Brian Yang in a 3-game encounter held over from Tuesday, when many matches were rescheduled because of a leaking stadium roof. In Hockey India League, Tamil Nadu Dragons edged past Steve Gunsaka 6-5 in a thriller at the Birsa Munda Hockey Stadium in Rourkela. Gunasika scored twice in the first 10 minutes. However, Dragons bounced back after the 15th minute, scoring twice to end the first half at 2 goals apiece. Second half saw both teams go back and forth, with the score tied at 5 goals each. Local boy Karthi Selvam scored the winning goal in the dying minutes of the game. Jip Jansen scored a hat-trick for the Dragons and was adjudged the player of the match. In cricket, New Zealand thumped Sri Lanka by 113 runs in the second one-day international to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series. Mitchell Santner has kicked off his campaign as limited over skipper with a series win. New Zealand made 255 for 9 after the match was reduced to 37 overs per side due to rain delay. For New Zealand, Rachin Ravindra and Mark Chapman struck half-centuries. In response, only Kamindu Mendes managed a score of 64 as Sri Lanka bundled for 142. In bowling, Sri Lanka's Mahesh Theekshana took a hat-trick and finished with figures of 4 and 44, while Will O'Rourke of New Zealand bagged 3 wickets. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Vipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.